and welcome to another daily devotion for Advent with Pastor Andrew. That's me. So, here we are. The 6th of December already. In less than 3 weeks, Christmas will be here. Yay, yay. And we will have celebrated once again the coming of the Christ child into our lives. And we'll be rejoicing because soon New Year's Day will be here. Anyway. But before we get to all that, of course, we are in the season of Advent. And we follow along here, 12:6, through the chaos. We move from a profession of faith, right, into something radically new, which is new, but not necessarily new to us, into through the chaos. And we get one verse from Psalm 46 today. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our refuge. Very much, again, connecting to our upcoming sermon this coming Sunday of hearing once again from John, right? This is John the Baptist Sunday, where we hear, prepare the way of the Lord, right? John is out, as we hear in the in Luke. We hear all about the prepare the way. So, but remembering that God is with us always. This quote here from Henry Nouwen, from Heart Speaks to Heart. Your heart is so full of the desire to love me, so aflame with a fire to warm me. You so much want to give me a home, a sense of belonging, a place to dwell, a shelter where I feel protected, and a refuge in which I feel safe. This here, a prayer from Nouwen to God. This is your desire for me. And so what imparts in that for me is, it's like, let me hear that and let me accept that, right? Let me truly believe that this is what you want from me, Lord, right? So our devotional writer has this. A friend told me recently that he felt unmoored by the state of the world and the confusion of his own heart. The political tensions and divides in the world and the church, the presence of war and violence around the globe, and the diminishing faith in God by so many around him, all have left him feeling without an anchor. How much can we relate? Regardless of where we stand, I think we can all agree there is just this sense of division, right? And where, and that unmoored and the whole idea there, yes. Where can we anchor ourselves? Where is, in a sense, a safe place, a safe space? So, and yet, I know we have been promised so much more, for even as the world and our lives go through what seems to be tectonic, incomprehensible shifts, we have a God who never changes. Even as we falter and fumble our way through the chaos, through prayer, worship, and community, we are able to encounter the unmovable mover of all things. When we seek this God, we discover the one who loves and gives us a place of safety and rest. In God's eyes, we are seen and loved. In God's heart, we are never forgotten or lost. In God, we are always home. Yes. It's been probably a decade or so, but it was probably about a decade or so ago that this idea of house, home, took on a different meaning, right? What is home? What is that safe place? Where is the place that we can just let all the walls that we throw up being in the world down? Where can we do that? Ideally, we should be able to do that not only in the place where we live, our home, our house, our apartment, or whatever, but ideally, and what it should be, is we should be able to do that in a place, in a space like this. Not my office, but church, right? Our house of worship. We don't have to come here to worship. We come here for safety, right? There is a reason it's called sanctuary, right? There is a reason, because it is here that we should be able to feel home. And in our technology world, and I am one that is a huge proponent of it now, and just that recognition that it isn't all about a physical space, it is about what that physical space, that idea represents. That's the safety, right? That's where, I can't help but make the connection, the Old Testament, everyone went to the temple because that's where God was. And Jesus is saying, yeah, God's here, but really God's everywhere and always has been. And I'm not saying, I'm not getting into the whole thing of, look, God's in the flowers and this and that, God's all there. This is the safe space to be. This is the Spirit at work flowing. So where do we find that? How do we connect to that? Constant, always, one of those big questions. Whoops, that's one for tomorrow. In God, we are always home. I challenge you today and in the next few weeks to once again ponder what that means to say and accept, in God, I feel and always will be at home. Even in the tough stuff, even when God is the last one you want to encounter, because we're encountering horrible, horrible things, or things come at us. God is there with us. God doesn't say that God's going to fix it. God says, I will walk with you through it. We're not talking like the footprints thing here, okay? God is with us. What does that mean? What does that mean? Advent. Our prayer, a good short one. Come, O Lord, and open wide our heavenly home. Amen. Yes. Yes. So, lots to think about. God is home. Through the chaos of everything, where's God in that, right? Where do we let God be in that? Where do we not let God be in that? Good questions. Thank you. Okay. Until tomorrow, God bless.